Oh, I didn't notice you there. I was too busy wasting my youth watching dumbass garbage that I won't remember an hour from now. By the way, do you know what this thing is? And don't tell me it's a smartphone, I mean, do you know what it really is? A smartphone, in a way, is like a magic mirror.
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Endless knowledge at your fingertips. Though this knowledge comes from a world different from the real, objective world. This pool of knowledge is a collection of ideas from every user of it. For this world is shaped by its inhabitants. Evolving constantly, it is a spirit world, a world of ideas. And when thinking about it this way, your smartphone becomes less of a mirror. It's not just a window to peer into this world, but more of a portal, because you're not only a watcher but an active participant in the formation of this world of spirits. And I call ideas spirits because we humans are like vessels for ideas. I mean, we take action only after one from among the chaotic war of ideas in our heads triumphs on persuading us to do so, like being possessed by a spirit. It's almost like the idea makes use of our bodies as vessels to manifest itself into reality through action. The point I'm getting at is that when we interact with this world of ideas through our smartphones, computers, or whatever, we establish a connection with it, a bridge per se. And this bridge between us and this world inside the magic portal has to be built with resources at our expense. We build it using our attention and time, two of the most valuable resources to ideas, because it's what they need to materialize into reality. Just take a look at the language surrounding attention. We don't say give attention, we say pay attention. Because when you utilize your attention, when you pay attention, you are exchanging it for something you consider to be of enough value. That's why we ignore things we consider unworthy of our attention. Just like every girl who's ever met me does. The thing is that attention can not only be paid, but also stolen, like I just did. If you were getting bored of my long speech and were still watching, chances are that this unexpectedly violent, out of the ordinary and loud scene caught your attention involuntarily. Fact of the matter is that you are a community of spirits. A combination of ideas operating a beautiful robots of flesh and blood, of cartilage and bone. But the spirits in your head are not fixed. Ideas flow and they die and transform, and new ones develop as you interact with the world around you, both the real one and the digital one. And ideas, as I said, are what generates action, and the actions you take are what dictate the story of your life. Following that logic, it is very important to make sure you recruit the right ideas into your team of spirits to generate the actions that will lead to you accomplishing your goals. Now here is where I kill the sacred cow. Our beloved smartphones. As I mentioned before, smartphones are a portal into a world engineered by millions of people with the aim of spreading ideas. And the people who are best at spreading ideas understand that attention is very valuable. After all, attention equals money, baby. If you command the attention of millions, then you definitely also have millions in the bank. Which is why big companies, and especially social media companies, leverage every little trick, flaw, and heuristic of the human mind to create the most addictive platforms and content possible, ensuring that we remain glued to our phones, distracted and possessed by low-value ideas that annihilate our potential and murder our dreams, so that we remain good little consumers chasing dopamine highs by devouring content and products. Not to mention shortening our attention spans, spreading convenient political ideologies, censoring inconvenient ideas, and fostering unhealthy addictions. Now relax! I'm not suggesting that you shatter your precious glass, baby, and replace it for a flip phone, though that would probably lead to an increase in mental health and productivity. What I'm suggesting is that we should be more mindful of the way we spend our attention and time, as well as more aware of our personal mental weaknesses to take actions that will prevent low-value ideas from filling our heads, distracting us from our true desired purposes. I like to think about it this way. Say you're a hero who possesses a cursed artifact, like a magic book. The book is very useful to you and provides you with the knowledge of an all-knowing god, telekinesis, the power to summon mounts, the ability to alchemically transmute gold into items, distort reality, view into the past, and many other things. But to use all of its powers, you must establish a magic connection with the spirit world through the artifacts. And the connection is a highway that goes both ways. You input commands and receive power and knowledge, but the accursed artifact also studies your interactions with it and uses what it learns to summon demons from hell specialized to possess you specifically. I like using fantasy as a metaphor, but this is much like what is happening in reality. It is no secret that our phones gather every little detail about us, and use complex algorithms to show us targeted ads and suggest content that we are likely to be addicted to, taking up loads of mental space and resources that could have been used to develop our own ideas. So I think that as heroes, we shouldn't destroy the book, but rather enchant it, to make it so that it stops summoning demons, aka destructive low-value content, vices and distractions, while retaining full functionality of the abilities that serve us in our quests. It is my experience that my productivity and motivation increase exponentially whenever I limit the usage of my phone to the bare minimum, only to what is necessary. And it just makes sense. Take a look at these numbers. The average person's daily screen time around the world is 6 hours and 57 minutes. The average teenager's daily screen time in the US is 8 hours and 39 minutes. 41% of US adults admit to finding it difficult to manage their screen time. And the Gen Z averages around 9 hours of screen time per day. Link to the sources of the stats in the description. Plus think about it. How much do you use your phone on those days where you feel like shit and just lay around all day, finding it near impossible to get yourself to do anything? I, for one, use an app called Stay Focused that tracks my screen time. And on the days where I am most productive, I tend to have less than an hour of screen time. But on bad days, I have as much as 5 hours, mostly spent on YouTube. And statistically, like me, you are likely to be wasting many hours of your day looking at things that you don't really care about for the sake of immediate entertainment. Imagine what we could be if we spent those 4 to 9 daily hours practicing a new skill, or working on a project, or even a business. What if we did that for a year, or 10? Our lives would be vastly different and immensely better, far richer and more meaningful. But that's enough theory. Now it's time for action. I am gonna teach you how to enchant your phone by enchanting mine, getting rid of these accursed demons once and for all. I have created a system that makes it so that I use my phone as little as possible, and that when I do, it's intentional and purposeful. Step 1. The first thing I did was identifying the uses I wanted out of my phone. Here is what I wanted to keep: communication with family and friends, email, audiobook library, ebook library, music library, banking info, and nutritional tracking. Then I analyzed which apps and aspects of my device were mostly responsible for my attention and time being wasted. And here is what I found: targeted marketing leading to unplanned impulse purchases, access to porn, doom scrolling on all social medias, compulsive email checking, sleeping later than I should, and immediate access to credit cards allowing for daily impulse junk food purchases. After identifying those aspects I desired to keep and those I desired to quit, I addressed the 20% of apps that were causing 80% of the time wasted. Using the app I mentioned before, Stay Focused, I completely blocked YouTube and Instagram, as well as the Play Store, to not get any more unnecessary apps. Then I limited my email usage to 10 instances per hour and blocked all portals. With step 1 alone, I already took care of 80% of the problems that my smartphone was causing to my productivity. Step number 2. Off-limit zones. If your experiences at the workplace are anything like mine, you likely realized that most employers don't allow cell phones during work hours or on the work floor. That is clearly to avoid distractions and low productivity. So phones are clearly a roadblock that prevents a state of flow when working. That's why I have set 2 zones in my house where my phone is not allowed to go in physically. Off-limit zones: my office and my room. Step number 3. An absolute time limit. Most people struggle putting their phones down to go to bed. That's why I have made it so that my phone becomes completely useless other than to make phone calls from 8 PM onwards, using another feature of Stay Focused. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Stay Focused or anybody else. Any other blocking app you use will do. This just happens to be my personal favorite. This 8 PM time block will make it so that I'm not ruining my sleep cycles by looking at blue light before bed, and ensuring I stick to my schedule every day. And finally, we've got step number 4. Minimalist phone. This one is only available to Android users, unfortunately. Minimalist Phone is an app I love, which replaces the regular home screen of your phone with a minimal one, focused on functionality. It removes the colorful, addictive icons that we click mindlessly and replaces them for the names of the apps in text, and makes it so that you have to type the name of the app you want to use, or search for it in a list. Which you might think is a waste of time, but really, it's quite the opposite. This extra 2 seconds invested every time you want to use an app will save you hours. Because when you take the time to type or look for an app, you are forced to be more intentional. Because to do so, you think about the app you're looking for, and therefore have an objective in mind. This prevents us from mindlessly jumping into apps on impulse without even noticing we did. These easy 4 steps are my system, the enchantment that I have placed upon my cursed artifacts. I've already tried this system for 2 weeks and it's been great. My phone usage has dropped to its bare minimum, as intended, less than 1 hour a day, and I've seen myself essentially forced to find other things to do with this time. And since I have a daily to-do list, it is always clear what I have to do next to get closer to my goals. So every day I'm optimizing, learning, and working a lot more. It really feels like I've freed myself from an attention-sucking demon. I hope that you too will take similar actions to regain full control over your time and your attention, so that you can direct them to what you find most meaningful. And with this, I leave you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.